All right, guys, welcome back. We are now going to dial into step number 1 of the Organo 4 steps to success. This is something that I probably could have mentioned in the last video, but I decided to save it for the very beginning of this video, okay? A lot of people in today's world, okay? This is the end of 2017 right now in December. Just so you have reference to the timeline in case you're watching this later on. The first thing that everybody's instinct to do nowadays when you want to start a business is to start blasting everything on social media. That is absolutely 100% the wrong time to do it. I promise you. Here's the key. The last thing I'm going to say is that social media is bad or that you shouldn't put your stuff on social media. That is wrong. We want you to do it right. We want you to put it on social media. We want you to share the stories, the testimonials, the product, everything. It's timing. Timing is everything. And what we've learned over the years, especially over the years as social media has really evolved and developed, and now it's so much a part of everything that we do in society and in our businesses and in our personal lives, we have to address social media. But what we have learned over the years is that the worst time to attack social media is at the very beginning. What we want to do is actually implement the 4 steps to success first, get rolling on it, and have a strategy as to how you're going to implement your social media marketing as well. So, the reason we're saying it right now is because hopefully you're watching this video right at the very beginning of your journey. And before you've already spouted all over Facebook, right? So what I want to say is take a deep breath and have patience. We will get there. But I guarantee you, you will get better results, more results, less ruffled feathers, okay? And more buy-in on what you're doing from your warm market if you save the social media until we're a little bit down the road on the 4-step system, okay? Trust me, once we get going, you're going to start to see it. All right, that is the big disclaimer, guys. Stay off social media for now. Let's get through the training of a few steps first, and then you'll see why that is true and how you're going to maximize the social media aspect after the fact, okay? So here we go. Step number 1, very simple. Be a product of your product. If you have decided to engage in Organo as a business, 9.9 times out of 10, it's because you have had some kind of result with the product. Organo's products work. They work amazingly well, okay? That is one of the first promises that we have with Organo is that, the products absolutely do what they say they're going to do or what we say they're going to do, and you're going to let the products prove that to yourself. So you probably already have some kind of story, right? That is one of the first things that we absolutely want to have happen is we want you to share your story or your testimonial about whatever it is that you've experienced already with your sponsor and with Organo, okay? So the first thing is to share your testimonial. Okay? Now, the important piece to this is to actually write it down. Okay? Ideally, guys, not even ideally, mandatory with a pen and a piece of paper. You can type it out after, you can have it in a file on your computer, in your phone, in your notes for further reference, but for the first time, write it out with pen and paper. I promise you it will commit it to your memory and to your core even deeper than any other method, okay? Write it down. Think about how you feel because of what you've experienced with the Organo products, and think about how you feel about your future with Organo based on the products and based on the business. that can be your testimonial. Now, for some people, your testimonial might be, you know what? I've only actually just tasted the coffee for the first time, and it tasted really good. I was really happy with that cup of coffee. The black was dark and strong, but really, really smooth at the same time. That latte, wow, was it creamy and delicious. I really enjoyed the coffee. If that's your entire testimonial so far, perfect. Write it down, share it with your sponsor. If you've been a customer for a while, maybe you've gone through boxes of Organo product and you have some very specific results, okay? Share that entire story. Don't need to write pages, but brief a few sentences of some of the challenges that you may have had and how you feel now in comparison. Never name a disease name. Never make any health claims. Talk about symptoms, how you were feeling and what you were experiencing, and how maybe that's, how you feel better now, coincidentally, since you've been using your Organo products, right? Put that in a testimonial. Your sponsor will help you with your testimonial, but definitely write it down and share it with them. It will develop, it will change over time, and be ready to keep adding to your testimonial over the next months that you're using the product, because I promise you it will change and it will get just bigger and bigger and bigger. When you have that down, when you write down your testimonial, what you're doing is you're telling your story. Your story is what is going to help you to build your business and will impact so many other people's lives that you touch, because they're going to hear your story and they're going to be affected by it. Okay? So that's why you want to do that. The next thing is you want to set yourself up for success on the business level by setting up your monthly auto ship. Okay? Now, there is a lot of philosophy and principle and psychology as to why this is important and why it's important to set it up for the beginning of the month. Okay? This is to set up your business success long term. We are not looking to try to push you to order as much product as possible right away because we're going to be making commissions from it. That's not what this is about. We are setting you up for long-term success by starting to create the habits that promote that. Okay? And that's what this idea is. When you set up your buying calendar for the beginning of the month, what you're doing is you're bringing in your inventory at the beginning of the month, which means you now have the rest of the month to move that inventory, okay? All of our business is based on calendar months, meaning at the very beginning of the month, on the 1st, you're starting with 0 volume, and by the end of the month, you've got whatever volume in your group has accumulated, and that's what you're paid based on. So when we're working from the 1st to the 30th or 31st, the sooner in the month that you have that product in and set yourself up for moving that product throughout the month, the better. Because if you set yourself up at the beginning, or if you're trying to order at the end of the month, I promise you it's not going to be the same. But more importantly, you're going to be duplicating that within your team. You may be brand new, but at some point you're going to have a team that you're working with, and you want them to have the same positive habits in their business that you have. And here's something interesting and something to remember throughout this entire training series. Everything that you do is what your team will duplicate. So just to be clear, if you do a terrible job at doing the 4 steps, guess what? That's what your team will duplicate, right? The better that you do with this system, meaning, and all that means is the activities. Don't worry about the results. Just do the little tiny steps that we're instructing you on, and that is what your team will duplicate because that's what you did. And that is so, so powerful, okay? Before I move on to the next step, I want to add one more little kind of philosophy point here. These videos, when you're getting information, this is not training. This is information, okay? And education and instructions for you to follow. When you apply the information and the instruction and you're actually doing the actions that were instructed, that is your training ground, okay? The training is in the doing. The training is when you're actually doing the activity. It's not listening to the video. Okay? Taking the information from this and then doing the activity, that's the training ground, and that's where you're going to get the practice, and that's where you're going to get better and better and better, and that's when you're going to see the results. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay, next, it's setting yourself up at the beginning of your business to actually have a little bit of product, okay, so that you can get right into it at the very beginning, and I'll explain that in a moment. So you always want to start your business, and more importantly, when you bring on new team members, you want to get them started with product immediately by selling them a box of black and latte, okay? So black and latte, one of each, minimum, okay? So for example, let's say you sign up a brand new business partner tomorrow. They order a promotional pack, a silver or a gold pack probably, but it's going to be 5 business days before they get that product. Well, they need something to get going. They're excited. They've got business. Maybe they've already been a customer. They might not have. Maybe they drink the mocha or the tea or whatever, but they need something to get started with over the 5 days while they're waiting for their pack to arrive. So what you do is you sell them a box of black and a box of latte, which is our 2 most popular products for the coffee beverages, and you sell it to them at your cost. You're not trying to make money off your brand new business partners. You're just trying to set them up so they have product, okay? You're not out any money because you're selling it at your cost. They're buying it at wholesale, which is their price anyway, but now they have product to consume and a little bit to sample as you are walking them through step 1 and step 2. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And hopefully your sponsor did the same to you and got you started with some product. So that is the next piece, is get yourself a box of black and latte. Now, the last piece is product knowledge. We're going to call it PK, okay? And how you do that is you spend a little bit of time on your website. So you go to your back office, okay? And you spend some time on the website. You go through your dashboard. You go through the links, okay? You set up your OG wallet. You go to the commissions and you check out all the different tabs there. You go to documents, okay? When you're in your back office, scroll down the list. At the very bottom, you'll see documents. Go to your country and click on the documents. Go through and you'll see there's a ton of information. Organo has accumulated a lot of data and a lot of information over the years, and we are not lacking in information. But you have to have some initiative for yourself to get out there and go find that information, which is all at your fingertips in your back office. Now, I saved the best for last. When you're on your website, you're going to see a tab that says My OGA. That is OG Academy or Organo Academy. That is your training hub. You're going to get videos kind of like this, right? From the masters, from the diamonds and the elite diamonds and all the master trainers that we have in Organo. You're going to get all sorts of information from them, and you want to learn from them as well. So take some time over the first couple of weeks in your business. Don't get overwhelmed by too much information, but make sure that you are taking the initiative to learn some of the stuff that's available to you, okay? This is your business. If you were to go start serving tables at a restaurant, they would make you memorize the menu before you served your very first table. They would make you memorize their policies and procedures and their systems for how to engage with customers, right? You would have a lot of information to take on before you even served your very first customer. Well, it's the same thing here. We want you to have the foundation in the background, trust your sponsor and your coach, but take some initiative and put the onus on yourself to learn about some of the foundation by plugging into your back office, all right? So with that, that's it. Guys, other than the time that you're going to spend on your website, completing these steps literally can be done in minutes. Completing step 1 can be done in less than 30 minutes very, very simply. Take a little block of time, after this video and go and just complete the step. Do your testimonial, ask your sponsor about your auto ship, okay, and when is the best time to set that up, depending on when you join. If you join right at the very end of the month or the beginning of the month, right, there's going to be some timings, and maybe it takes sometimes a month or two of cycles before you get properly set up, okay, depending on the pack you got and everything else. But trust your coach to help you to do that so that your habit is being set up with the auto ship within the first month or two. Make sure you've got product as you're waiting for your kit, and make sure that your new partners, when you start sponsoring, are set up as well, and get on that website and check it out. All right, there you go. Step 1 done in 15 minutes. Let's go get it. I will see you on step number 2, which is our third video, and that's it. Let's get to work. So it's easy, it's simple, it's organo. Carry on.